Ever feel like data's kind of killing the vibe in the room? Like it sucks the creativity right out of the air.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, get ready for a plot twist. Today we're diving into a story that flips that idea completely on its head.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
We're talking about John Pagano, this creative leader who's basically figured out how to make data the secret ingredient behind some seriously successful kids' content.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
I'm talking SpongeBob, Paw Patrol, that level of like mega impact.
Wow, those are some heavy hitters. How's he doing it?
So he's built this whole culture where data doesn't call the shots. It's more like, it gives you superpowers.
Interesting.
It's not about letting some algorithm write your script, but using that data to really get what clicks with the audience.
So data as like a compass, not a map.
Exactly. And this guy, he walks the walk. One story that blew my mind was this thing he calls the gross-up discovery.
Gross up. Okay, now I need details.
So one of his producers is knee-deep in these, engagement metrics
Yep.
and stumbles on something totally wild. Anytime they show a close-up on SpongeBob's face, like super up close and personal, pores, maybe a little eye crust, viewers are just glued to the screen.
You're kidding. You'd think that kind of stuff would be a turnoff.
Right. But get this, they tested it. Created a whole bunch of these enhanced close-ups. Engagement went through the roof.
Wow, talk about finding gold in the unexpected.
Makes you wonder though, right? Is it the surprise factor, the humor in those little imperfections? What makes that kind of detail so captivating?
It's amazing what data reveals about us, isn't it? Those hidden things we react to without even realizing it. For creative folks, that's pure gold.
It's not even just about finding those weird little hooks. It's about understanding the why behind them. Which brings us to another Pagano gem, making sure his team totally gets the impact of what they're doing. He wants them to see that direct link between the stuff they create and some kid on the other side of the screen grinning ear to ear.
Now that's powerful. How's he pull that off?
Well, he's turned data into a game.
A game. Okay, tell me more.
Imagine this. Personalized dashboards for each person on his team, right? They can see all their stats, views, watch time, how many new fans they're reeling in, all laid out in a way that's easy to digest, but more importantly, it gets them fired up.
So it's like friendly competition, but with the added bonus of making those numbers feel real, right? Like they actually mean something.
Exactly.
And when you can see how your work fits into the bigger picture, how it contributes to something bigger than yourself, that's got to be incredibly motivating.
It's like those dashboards get people talking, right?
Hey, totally.
Not just, hey, here are the numbers, but like, okay, what's the story behind these numbers? What's working? What's flopping? And how do we use all this to make even cooler stuff?
And that kind of transparency, it does wonders for the vibe, builds trust. When everyone's in the loop, knows the why, it's like way easier to work together.
Makes sense. So it's less about someone calling all the shots from on high and more about everyone feeling empowered to bring their A game.
Exactly. And speaking of empowering, it's kind of how Pagano deals with, the whole AI thing.
Oh yeah, the elephant in the room.
Right. But he's not one of those AI is going to steal our jobs kind of guys. He sees it as another tool in the belt, something to free up those creative juices.
Okay, I'm listening.
He said it himself. AI is a rock star at all that tedious stuff that can suck the life out of you.
Oh, tell me about it.
Like endlessly tweaking video lengths for every platform under the sun, or transcribing interviews till your ears bleed, even churning out those first drafts.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like that kind of stuff just zaps the creativity right out of you.
Totally. But here's the thing. When you hand those soul-crushing tasks over to AI, it frees up Pagano's team to actually, think big, experiment, case those crazy ideas.
So you're telling me he uses AI to create more space for, like, pure, unadulterated creativity.
That's the gist, yeah.
Okay, now I gotta know more.
He's got this thing called a shortsathon. It's basically a creativity pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Teams get a limited window to come up with the most innovative, out there, short videos they can dream up.
No rules.
No data constraints, no specific briefs, just pure, unfiltered creative flow.
Sounds a little chaotic.
In the best way possible. It's about finding that balance between, data-informed decisions and those moments of pure, what he calls, finding the jazz.
Okay, I love that. You need those fundamentals, the structure, but then those moments of improving, riffing, that's where the magic happens.
And that's Pagano in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
The future ain't about data versus human ingenuity. It's about getting to jam together.
It really makes her think, maybe data isn't the creativity killer we make it out to be. More like, I don't know, a secret passage to a whole other level of
It's
creativity.
all about how you use it, right?
Yeah,
And Pagano seems to have a knack for creating that environment.
totally. But how does he find people who can, like, dance between those data points and those big creative
He's
leaps?
got an eye for talent, that's for sure. And he's not afraid to look in some unusual places.
Oh, like where?
Get this, some of his top creatives, the real game changers, they came from the world of professional wrestling.
You're kidding. From WrestleMania to SpongeBob.
Yeah, wild, right? But he saw the connection. These were master storytellers. Even if they didn't have that traditional creative background, they knew how to build a narrative, how to work a crowd, how to create those oh my God moments that get people hooked.
So he took that raw talent, that gut instinct, and layered in the data.
Exactly. Gave them the framework, the tools, the insights to take it to a whole other level.
That's pretty brilliant when you think about it. He's not looking for cookie-cutter creatives. He wants people who bring something different to the table.
Diversity of thought, diversity of experience, that's where the real magic happens.
Because sometimes those unexpected mashups, those crazy collisions, that's where the really groundbreaking stuff comes from.
And that's how Pagano's team stays ahead of the game, always pushing those boundaries.
Always experimenting, always curious.
And it all comes back to that idea of data as a tool, not a tyrant.
Right. It's about using data to light the way, not to tell you exactly where you have to end up.
And that's a good lesson for all of us, no matter what we do.
Makes you wonder, what could we achieve if we weren't so scared of the data? What amazing stories could we tell? What kind of connections could we make?
It's about finding that sweet spot where data and imagination collide. So here's a thought for you to chew on. What's one small way you could invite data into your own creative process? You never know what you might discover.
Maybe it's time to stop thinking of data as the enemy and start seeing it as a partner in crime.
Because the most exciting adventures happen when we embrace the unknown together. Until next time, stay curious.